11:36 in the morning, and just for the record, the light source remains over me here at Alvarado Gardens at 1810 North Alvarado Street. So what I'm gonna show you right now is just I'm giving you what I'm all that I'm doing is I am making the same point to you over and over again, and I'm giving you different ways of seeing and really seeing before your face not only that which is invisible and the true behavior, the true outward conduct. And by outward conduct, I mean the show. I'm putting that in air quotes, the show that the demon-possessed, highly malicious people, okay, people that are actually wicked, and because they have a wicked spirit on them. But, okay, that's not going to be demonstrated when you're working with them necessarily, because I have shown the entity is clearly engaging in wicked conduct when you're making up information about me, following kids, taking pictures of kids in the bathroom, trying to depict the targeted individual as a sex offender when actually I am documenting you as the sex offender that you are. That's the behavior of the entity, and I've documented it. All right, engaging, and that's the psychopath, calling you crazy when actually that entity is in every way mentally ill. Okay. And it's revealed through the criminal system, through the engagement in the elements of monitoring. And these are the ticking time bombs that are engaging in what is a state system. They're all around. These people are all around. That is a public safety concern. So when I'm saying the true conduct, I mean with regard to that level of malice. Somebody, you see me conducting myself in a professional manner, because first of all, I am a professional, and second of all, I am prosecuting and exposing at the same time. And so it's necessary with regard to what it is that I'm showing to you, and you're learning about the demon possessed. They're not going to come levitating and spewing out a forked tongue, and that's not how Satan's going to operate. That's not what it's going to look like at all. Okay, now let me be clear. There's going to come a time where the demon-possessed, this entity is not going to try to conceal itself anymore. And that's the threat that's existing now while they are trying, albeit failing. I'm showing you what the entity intends to hide from you. And what you'll notice through the public safety concern with regard to the criminal conduct that an entity seeks to secretly engage in, you see more and more of the demonic. You see more and more of that hostility and that aggression, the more and more I speak to it. The more I document, the more the entity engages in what is looming all around me in helicopters. The louder the helicopter gets, okay? The more crazier the light activity gets. This is what the demons of, Universal Waste and Tiffany Sherez engage in. Very exceedingly hostile, okay? The demons do not want their cover blown. And you're talking about what is literally blowing the cover with regard to their criminal conduct. The fact, first of all, it's embarrassing that they're known to be obsessed with you, stalking you. They want to appear in every regard, disinterested in you, even going out of their way to try to make you feel belittled or like less than them. And they know that that's not true. They don't want you to know about your value. And I'm talking to whoever it is that's subject to this criminal system. All right, so don't be fooled by that. And that's the lie of the enemy, okay? And so this is revealing both. At one time, I'm going to digress from that. This is demon possession. How are you witnessing and recognizing demon possession? I'm showing it to you through the environment. And what I'm going to show you is I'm going to remind you what I documented yesterday. That's what you're looking at on this screen. And this is a video that was captured today, May 8th. This is in the video that was captured while LAPD is flying circles around me and the people of the state. The light sources are all around me. These are the same demons when they're driving their car in and out of the parking lot, light activity all over the buildings. Their shadows moving all over the place. Okay, when I'm walking outside and I'm surrounded by a gang and it's just my shadow. Okay, this is the environment where they just walk, oh, hi, like nothing's happening. Okay, that's a threat to your life. That's a threat to your life. Okay, that's malice, and that is the state that is stalking you. That is not in any way unthreatening because you're smiling and talking about the daisies. It's audible activity. It's relevant positioning. It is activity creation. And you are a whole psychopath while that terrorism via helicopter is acting in concert with your presence and activity creation. You're being a psychopath hiding behind the wall that separates us, following me via noise creation, where I am also documenting the state that, again, engages in what is kidnapping you. It's engaging in what is threatening you, reasonably construed as such. I'm going to bust into your apartment and assert a warrant and charge you with allegations of sexually assaulting somebody, making up whatever. And like the entity actually likes to do, what you document the entity engaging in, the entity will engage in what is waging false allegations that you've done the same thing. That's what the demon possessed have engaged in a pattern of. They will engage in calling you mentally ill when that entity is entirely sick. That's what the demon possessed do. They will engage in calling you, and by means of waging false allegations, a sex offender. It's tantamount to calling me a sex offender, stating that I'm taking pictures of kids in the bathroom. Okay? Or no. They specifically that I'm following kids into the bathroom. This is what the substance and essentially that the entity has engaged in. First of all, the entity is monitoring, and the entity does so through minor children. And I am in no way concerned with kids. I don't have any, and I'm not consumed with them, and nothing about my conduct or my history is even remotely close to that. I don't have to defend myself. I'm showing the specific environment, and I'm showing all the malicious ways that the entity is engaging in the P.O.C. And if you are crossing path, holding the hand of your minor child, you're engaging in that criminal system, that sex offense in concert with that minor. And by the way, the entity is engaging in what is this criminal conduct while looking to the left and the right, acting like they're not concerned about you. But then all of a sudden you got the police arriving and I'm like, who said what? What are you talking about? First of all, what are you talking about? It's audible activity they're monitoring. And that's criminally defaming audible activity, which is a threat to your life and your physical safety while they then kidnap you. And it's the same entity that's keeping you under surveillance. That's the mentally ill. That's the sex offender. Okay? And that is speaking to the threat that is on another day smiling and saying good morning. And I want to be, so I'm going to digress here. What I'm showing you is Bennett Gossaker. And I'm showing you the light source. This is the video that I captured. LAPD's been doing laps over my office, okay? This is what's going on while he is then walking out. Clumsily crosses path, and then he walks by. These are demons that are pacing, okay? The light source is right here. And let me point out something to you. This is a very low hovering light source. That's not the sun. Even on its face, that's not the sun. But my documentation showing what this low hunkered down light source is remaining at the property all day long, not the sun. Number two, this low hovering down light source is captured in an entirely different region, which the two are not happening at the same time either, not the sun. This is the environment where I'm standing at the present location where I happen to remain. And you're looking at, this is approximately 10:18. The entity is maintaining a light source over me. I'm capturing video of LAPD group stalking. That's evidence against this third-party group stalker, by the way. That's how that prosecution is going to work. But nonetheless, I want to give you big picture analysis. This is today at approximately 10:18 in the morning. And I'm standing outside of my leasing office. I am looking at what is a third-party crossing path. You're looking at the shadow, the direction of the shadow that speaks to the immediacy of that light source. It's right there. Look at the shadow of the benches. Look at the shadow of the bushels, of the trees. That's speaking to the immediacy of that light source. It's right here, right over me, while I'm standing out in front of my leasing office, and this is building 1810. And I want to remind you about what I documented while I'm standing in that same position in front of my leasing office in the afternoon. 10:18 in the morning, and this is 4:21 in the afternoon. I'm at the same property. I'm facing the same building, 1810. And this is the light source over Sarah Chambliss, representing figure 8, who is engaging in the state's criminal system. By virtue, look at the position of the shadow that speaks to the immediacy of the light source. All right, look at the shadow of the palm tree on the roof of the building 1802. That's the light source. Look at the shadow. That lets you know the light source is hovering directly above. These are the details you're paying attention to. This light source is right here at the same property. This is showing what is the light source that's present at 4:18 in the afternoon, and then you're looking, let me show you this. And then this is 10:18 in the morning, okay? That's speaking, let's count the hours, okay? And I'm standing outside of this office right here. 10:18 in the morning on this side, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 hours. And the light source is remaining here all day long. And then it goes from being here when I get off of work at 5 to being in alignment with my bedroom window to remain and then engage in setting at the end of the day. That's not the natural environment. And that is revealing, by the way, the entity's pattern of conduct of group stalking. And it's occurring in a very specific environment. And this is what Sarah Chambliss, the third-party group stalker, is documented engaging in while I'm looking at the same property. I'm looking at the same property. I'm outside of the same leasing office in the afternoon, and the light source is just on the opposite side of my person, 6 hours apart from each other. That is capturing the specific environment. Everybody in that environment is group stalking, okay? This is Nova Contractors. This is a third-party group stalker systematically here. This is smart janitorial. And the entity is engaged in what is ongoing group stalking in concert with the state. That is stalking by helicopter, which is what I continuously capture. This is how you're recognizing targeting. And this is also how you are also aware of what are the demon-possessed, what do they behave like. The demon-possessed entity that's engaged in criminal surveillance, this is public corruption. They're doing it in plain sight. It's highly malicious. And the entity is doing so in a manner that's supposed to appear like, woo, nothing here, nothing to see here, folks. The target individual is making it up. There's no such thing as a target individual. That's a paranoid schizophrenic. That's called criminal defamation. And by the way, that pattern of conduct is very, very ineffectual. Very, very, very unpersuasive, where you have the body of evidence surrounding this entity, showing what is, again, the truly mentally ill. Okay, and they're flying helicopters. They're living at the crime scene. They're holding the hands of children. And this is a state system that's underway. Okay, so I just wanted you to get a vivid illustration of that. That environment is what is remaining outside of my office for the duration of the day. And the entity is doing so on an ongoing basis. Okay, crossing path state surveillance knows exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Maintaining perfect presence. That's the demon Kilsa. Okay, and you've seen her cross path and engineer light move across that apartment building. That's the demonic. Okay, they know exactly what I'm saying and what I'm doing. That's not coincidental presence in an environment where the light source is here at 10:18 in the morning and it's here at 4:18 in the afternoon. You're understanding and recognizing a system. All right, and Kilsa is going to federal prison. Okay. And by the way, she's identified as an American citizen on her paperwork. No, she's not. She's been granted civilization, what the state of California and what this government has recognized as being a citizen after a series of processes. Again, I'm not going to go into the details of that process. But again, those that have been granted, not natural born citizens, that's going to be a very plain definition. Group stalking is going to result in deportation. You're out of this country. It's entirely un-American. If you've been granted the privilege to be here, that privilege is no more. You're out of here. I don't care how long you've been. Okay, and this is a way that you're going to rid what is the ongoing threat to the lives of American citizens in this country. It's currently 11:48 a.m. Again, and this is where the entity is rising in light source, and it still remains here as you saw Sarah Chambliss crossing path. And at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours from now, the light source is still over this property, which you can see through the shadow of that palm tree, which is over this building. The light source is directly above. Like I said, there's no misconception of depth. It's not over the Fontana Lewis Library and also seen in alignment with me at the 1810 North Alvarado Street. No, that's not rocket science. It's the P.O.C.